Okay, the time has come for us to start the Tuesday, January 21st, 2020 Finance and Purchasing Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo?
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Here.
Alderman Rivera?
Present.
Alderman Seager?
Present.
Alderman Newsom?
Present. Approval of the minutes. Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkwood to approve the minutes from December 16th, 2019, the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Are there any questions on that motion? All those, you got a question?
No, I'm sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Public comment, is there anyone that wants to speak about anything that's on the Purchasing and Finance Committee agenda? Being none, I'm going to take a motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to move up item B under old business. It is the motion to approve the economic incentive agreement between the City of Waukegan and Elite Motors. Do you need a roll call?
Voice vote?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Mr. Vaselli?
Madam Chair, thank you. Madam Chair, Alderman, thank you for taking the time tonight. We are here again with Elite. Alex from Elite is here in the audience tonight. He is willing to speak or answer any questions if needed. There are just 3 points for tonight. Number one, we are looking for additional information from the Illinois Department of Revenue. We are working with Elite on that, and while this is a long process, it is some certain information about the certainty of sales tax numbers to be able to give us finite numbers to go back with them and negotiate. That's number one. Number two, Elite is looking for some certainty on this from a transactional side from the city. So what I would ask is a 2-week continuance. I know you normally meet monthly. I would ask that we take a little bit of a change on that just to be able to move this along for Elite because they've been patient and they are good corporate citizens. And come back in 2 weeks with a clear proposal from this committee as to what we're willing to work with Elite on. In that time, the chair, myself, economic development, and the finance department will sit down, taking input from all of you, which we gather in that period of time, and then come up with one single proposal so we can go back to Elite. And number three, we have been in negotiations with Elite for some time. In my experience, and this is essentially what I work on primarily in my law practice, in 2020, 2019, in this era, the economic development world, a lot of it involves incentives to developers such as Elite. And it's something that is oftentimes distasteful to municipalities because we're looking for every dollar we can. We've got obligations with fire departments and police departments and potholes and bridges that all need to be fixed. Notwithstanding, developers, they know the system and they understand that if you don't get incentives from one municipality, the other municipality will give it to you. It's a distasteful one, but it is one where municipalities compete against each other for good developers and sales tax generating revenue. That becomes more finite at this point in time because quite honestly, we all know that brick and mortar stores, they're gone. They and dinosaurs are not coming back. This is the way it is, and this is the world of economic development in 2019 and 2020. So with that, I would obviously, if Elite, they came here, if they have anything that they want to say, they should be able to take the floor for a second. But with that, with the understanding that myself, the chair, Finance and Economic Development, will sit down and meet from getting all the information from the aldermen and come back with one finite proposal for Elite. We come back in 2 weeks so we can move this along because I know this committee wants to move this along and readdress this issue.
So
Madam
that
Chair.
would be actually Monday, February 3rd is what you're suggesting?
Monday, February 3rd sounds great.
Well, I'm
Yes.
I'm not verifying the reservation, sir. I'm just clarifying, because it is a Tuesday. We usually meet
Sure.
on Mondays, so
Sure.
Monday, February 3rd would be the next council meeting night, right? Is that right? Okay.
Thank you all.
The consensus of this committee, that's fine?
That's fine with me. fine.
Okay, because I wish we had had some numbers tonight, being that some of the information was pulled from the alderman a week or so ago.
Of course.
And I would have liked to see, something a little different than what we had. But,
I will accept 100% of the blame for that. I would like to blame Springfield, but I am an accountable man, so I will say that it's on us.
Okay.
We're going to work with Elite to get the numbers that we're looking for. We're going to work with the city to get the numbers on this end. And admittedly, I will push off some of the blame. We are dealing with a bureaucratic mechanism in Springfield, who we love because they give us funding and everything like that, but sometimes things do take a little bit of time. So I'm sure Elite is going to make a commitment to work with us on our numbers, and we will in turn work diligently with them to come back with finite numbers before the proposal.
okay.
Okay with that?
Do you have,
If you want to,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at public speaking.
Alex, can you state your full name, Alex?
Alex Ulanov with Elite Motors.
Okay.
Let's see, where do we start? So we have tried to compile some of the numbers, and we have called IDOR. We tried to obtain some of the numbers that you requested here in the 12th hour. We weren't able to because they're not sharing these numbers with us. We spoke with Tina, we tried to compile some of these numbers. We actually tried to forecast some of the numbers ourselves based on our sales. We came up with an approximate number. It's very difficult to know what the exact number is. The only people that could find out that number is you as the city that generates that revenue, that actually receives the revenue from the sales tax that we generate. I know last time we were here, there was some questions and concerns about, I don't remember, it was mentioned where, hey, if we give this incentive to this dealership, perhaps, everybody else will come. And I wanted just to kind of elaborate. I know that we relayed some of the information about our businesses to some people here in the city, but perhaps obviously it wasn't fully relayed. We've been working since we were in our early 20s to make this business possible, So we have about 20 years in here, and we do everything we can to make this a well-oiled machine. Our sales are in the midst of around $38 million a year. Just to put it in perspective to you, an average McDonald's is about $1.5 million a year to $2 million at most. So if you were to take that into consideration of what we do, we basically it would look like if you were going to take, 20 or 30 entities like that and stick it throughout, the city of Waukegan. That would probably be more incentive for you to do. But for us, we generate these numbers. These numbers don't come from the sky. They don't come from the fact that we're here in Waukegan. They come from our efforts. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for that to happen. That includes advertising. That includes, we have a call center that we get people in here for. We spent probably $80,000 a month just in advertising alone to try to generate these people to come to the city of Waukegan to our location so we can in turn sell these cars. And we sell on an average of about 125 to 135 cars a month. We employ a good amount of people. We see about 2,500 people come through our doors every month, which in turn turns into generation of people go to the gas station, people go to lunch. I don't have to tell you guys. You guys understand how it is. What we're asking for is nothing up front. We're not asking for any kind of funds for the city of Waukegan and I were mentioned as developers, we're not developing anything. We didn't come and say, hey, we would like $500,000 to do this. What we're asking for is that the city of Waukegan share, and actually it comes out to be probably about less than 20% of the revenues of the sales tax that we generate with our own efforts with us. Because let's say we take a round number of $140,000 that the city of Waukegan receives. Your base is $80,000, and then we split the rest. It's exactly 20%. So, in turn, we're not really asking for anything substantial in the big picture, right? Our sales do exceed those numbers, and we do generate a substantial amount of traffic to this, to Waukegan. Mr. Vaselli mentioned that, in today's day and age, that obviously other cities will in turn come to our aid and say, wait a minute, you're doing all this to generate this revenue? We will be more than happy to come to your aid and give you your 20% that you're asking for. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute now, and my question is for the committee, for everybody here, for the aldermen, these numbers that you're asking for, what difference will they make? I'm having a hard time understanding it. It is what it is. You know, we can compile and look at all the numbers, but this particular set of numbers was never asked for prior. And we've been really patient and we've been working with you guys and we've been trying to put this together for a small share, if you look at the overall picture, of what we spend day and night and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month generating, right? I think if you look at it that way, it's nothing substantial. And the numbers that you guys are asking for, I can't get them for you. And I won't be able to. And so with that being said, I've done everything I can, at this point. I think we've been working on this for 2 years, and I don't think that I'd be able to compile anything more than what we have. To be honest with you, in this point, if the city of Waukegan can't, recognize a small contribution of our own effort for us, we probably will be forced to leave. I mean, at this point, it wouldn't make sense for us to continue, right? After our lease is up, that's what's going to happen. I think that every city and village, right, have an incentive program. And I'm sure Mr. Rosselli will tell you, like he did, that that's kind of what it is everywhere. And we've spoken to them, and we understand it. And if you look at it, it's maybe a very, very small as to the big picture, but every penny counts in this day and age being in business. So if you guys have any questions for me or we'd be more than happy to be transparent about any other numbers. You can come visit our facility. You can do whatever you wish. We're an open book. But these numbers in the 12th hour, I won't be able to provide for you. And truthfully, I don't see the difference that it's going to make at this point. So with that being said, if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. But I don't know what else to relate to this board, and we really can't, continue spending money and efforts and to continue going through.
You want to speak? Oh, okay. This board has only heard about your dealings the last couple months, so you've been working on it 2 years. We didn't know about it till last month.
It's okay.
So we're willing to sit down with you and do something and come up with some numbers for the next meeting. February 3rd?
Do you want to make a motion to continue the matter
yes.
to date certain?
Make a motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Moiseo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold it over to February 3rd.
Well,
To continue it,
I was ready to vote, but that's okay.
February 3rd.
I guess we'll do a roll call. 'Cause
Roll
I don't know
call.
if we should do that or not.
Roll call.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Okay, the matter's been continued to Monday, February 3rd, a time to be determined.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, just right quick.
So this is our
I
front,
can't think of it. I have anything.
and if you go the other way, and this is where, the grass starts.
Okay,
And that's where ComEd is, so we can't really technically even go there.
okay,
Even if we tried,
okay.
it wouldn't make sense for us to. So I just wanted to share. That's just from. Come over, we're there, thank you.
Ivan, right? What's your?
Alex,
Alex.
yeah,
I'll be
Alderman
over
Seager.
to visit your facility.
you guys can come anytime. I'll leave you my number, you guys can.
The matter, just be careful of Open Meetings Act, since the matter is currently pending.
Yes.
So any members of this committee should try not to go there together.
Right.
You guys can do it post.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we'll go back into our regular agenda. New business, item A, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve a change order in the amount of $15,556.53, increasing the contract award with McDowell Mechanical for HVAC preventative maintenance approved on November 18, 2019, to a total revised amount of $76,000. I've spoken with Mr. Hewitt today regarding this item, and there has since been some other issues in the police department. boiler, I believe, went out in City Hall, and Public Works. So this will carry this contract until the end of this fiscal year, which is April 31st, April 30th.
30th.
April 30th. Are there any questions on this motion?
So,
Alderman
so
Rivera?
these were items that came up after we voted?
Yeah,
Got it.
after we approve.
Okay.
That will cut into the money that we already approved.
Gotcha.
Mr. Hewitt?
Madam Chairman,
Okay.
actually what happened is basically the same, we tried to estimate what we're going to spend, and we did a change order once, and then we had some other issues, so, and it still is less than what we spent last year with them, so we gamble and hope, okay? And it depends on if we have anything major happen, so.
And this was something that we waived the competitive bidding process for, correct?
Actually,
This
what
is a
happened is,
joint purchasing with the
Lake County.
Lake County.
Oh, okay.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item B, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve a change order in the amount of $79,000, increasing the contract award to N. Harris Computer Corporation relative to the Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, system approved on June 17, 2019, to a total revised amount of $330,688 for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Moiseo. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Motion to authorize the proper city officials to execute a grant agreement with FM Global Group to provide $6,067.48 in funding for fire prevention. This grant is 100% reimbursable with no local match requirement. The FM Global Fire Prevention provides grant funds to be used for fire prevention. $6,067.48 provided, approved for the city of Waukegan will be used to buy smoke detectors with 10-year batteries that will be distributed and installed within the community. In addition, 4 cameras will be purchased and used for fire investigations and inspections by the fire prevention personnel. Motion by Alderman Rivera. Second by Alderman Seager. Are there any questions on this motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item D, motion to authorize the proper city officials to execute a grant agreement with DAS Charitable Fund to provide $25,000 in funding for police canine programs. This grant is 100% reimbursable with no local match requirements. Are there any, motion by Alderman, let me see.
You did Rivera and Seager.
Okay, motion by Alderman Moiseo,
Sure.
and Alderman Kirkwood.
Yes.
Second. And this grant, DAS Charitable Fund, will provide $25,000 to pay for canine training, food, veterinary care, and kenneling for the Waukegan Police Department's 4 canines. Are there any questions on this motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried.
Oh, you do have, just making sure.
Item E? Item E, motion to approve a resolution amending the fees for special events to provide for a reduced fee for non-for-profit organizations. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Seager. Are there any questions to this motion?
The
Alderman Rivera?
specific change,
Oh, you want to know?
Yeah. Is,
Douglas can speak to that, I'm
You
sorry.
speak, it wasn't redlined, so,
Yeah, I'm sorry for not redlining it. So last year, when we amended the ordinance, we set the fees by resolution. One of the things that was common in all of the people who were applying, coming before the city council for waivers of the fees, were that they were primarily non-for-profit organizations, and we wanted, I got direction from a number of you that you'd like to see reduced fees schedules for non-for-profit organizations. So it reduces it from the normal fee schedule to a $50 fee.
perfect.
Also included in that resolution, there is one other change, which is establishing a 50% fee for events that are serving alcohol. The police department requested this change because of the amount of time spent in preparing for those specific events. It involves a lot more preparation on their part to ensure that they have response plans that address the need for handling drunk and belligerent people. So we felt that those were reasonable changes to bring to you tonight.
Great, thank you.
any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
All right.
Alderman Newsome?
Aye, motion carried. Old business, item A, motion to amend and correct the authorization granted to the proper city officials to execute an agreement with Cargill Incorporation to Compass Minerals American Incorporation in the amount not to exceed $460,000 for the purpose of purchasing road salt and to waive the competitive bidding process pursuant to City of Waukegan Code of Ordinance exemption of government joint purchasing. Section 2-458, subsection I-3, State of Illinois CMS joint purchasing, L5910-5910. Motion by Alderman Moiseo,
Sure.
second by Alderman Kirkwood. Are there any questions to this motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Newsome?
Aye, motion carried. That was it for the agenda? No, we have.
Yes, just
Okay,
reports.
when does this come, is that on the full council?
What's that?
Cannabis.
Well, the cannabis
Is that added
resolution,
to?
that's on city council?
That's on the city council
Okay.
agenda, not the committee agenda, because it's
Okay.
not dealing with a finance matter.
Oh, okay, all right. Reports and communication, take it away, Finance Chair.
Oh, not chair.
I mean,
but thank you
Finance.
so much. You're the chair, ma'am.
Finance.
The water consumption summary, we enclose that every month. You know, it does track a little slower in the winter as far as consumption, so that's in there for your information. Same with business and rental licenses. Those will also slow a little bit, so we only had 4 business license applications for the month and 5 rentals. One of the things that we will start doing when the special event season opens back up in February, March, we do have our finance department intern working over his holiday break, and he'll be back in the summer. So we are putting the special events applications in the same type of format. So it won't necessarily require city council action or anything, but it'll be in a very similar format, so you'll be able to see the date of the application, who the applicant is, the event, the date of the event, and the location. So hopefully that'll keep everybody a little better informed on the special events that are pending. Also enclosed is the December video gaming report. You will I wanted to point this out to all those members on the committee. It does show the VGT count that the state is aware of on this report, so if there's any questions about that. So the numbers are pretty consistent there. Food and beverage and hotel tax reports are confidential, and they are posted under the section of the committee agenda that is not for public. So if there's any questions about that, I'm happy to answer those offline, or if you had any general comments, I can answer those. The stabilization report, We continue to be above our threshold. We did just discuss this, the chair and I discussed this recently, that the fund balance policy, which has been in place for quite some time now, maybe 10 years at this point. When that was established, because of the resources, the liquidity that we had, we established that at essentially 1 month's worth of operating expenses. Rating agencies like to see anywhere, 3 months, 20 to 30%. But at the 1 month, we're doing fine so far. We are almost paid back. We did have to loan the internal service fund that we set up for IT this fiscal year that first month, and we're slowly getting that paid back. The budget to actual report for the month ending December, the line item report, is attached here for your review. We are currently working with the departments on their budget requests for next fiscal year. We anticipate having that information out in March. The areas that we are continuing to look at, wages are a little higher than we had originally budgeted because of union contract settlements, as well as the health insurance share ended up being a little different once those union contracts were settled versus what we knew a year ago at this time when we were putting the budget together. We are also keeping a pretty close eye on our bond spending. The bond proceeds finally are getting spent down, so we're tracking those projects as well. And when we do bring the budget proposal forward for next fiscal year, it will include year-end estimates for the current fiscal year, projections for the year after that as well. So again, if there's any questions or concerns on any of those reports, happy to address those. And probably not next month, but in March, maybe April, that's when we'll start adding that special event application pending report as well.
Are there any more questions about anything?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Moiseo to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Adjourned, 6:42.